everyone, it's GT time. I'm your moderator, Kyle Bossman, and joining us, as always, is our uniquely talented and knowledgeable panel, including Brandon Jones.
Hello.
Daniel Bloodworth.
Hello.
In the super seat this week, Brad Ellis.
Hi.
And making this all happen in the booth, Ian Hink.
Hi.
With a little guest cameo.
Little Don Legs.
Don Legs.
There's also a little guest cameo from SteamWorld Heist, but I bet we'll be in there once in a while.
Oh, sure, yeah. Ian is playing that on his 3DS right now.
Not my 3DS.
GameTrailers 3DS,
Yeah.
excuse me. Ian, how do you feel about... Let's be a video games podcast for a second. How are you feeling about that game?
I love it.
Great.
I like the look of it, and the gameplay is fun.
Oh, God.
Back of the box.
The gameplay is fun.
That's some real fun gameplay in that game. I'm doing that voice a lot today.
What is that voice? What is that voice?
I don't know. It's like my cutesy little asshole voice.
Okay.
That's probably what it would sound like.
So last week we had votes. We wanted to know whether or not we should keep the super seat question, because not only does Huber hate it, but he found people on NeoGAF who agree with him. However, the dominant votes all went toward keeping the question.
Did you include all the ones that were sent to Ben Moore?
I did not include the Ben Moore votes.
I think the bulk of the votes went to Ben Moore.
Also,
actually.
can I note a flaw in this system?
What? Yeah, I guess.
The people that want to get rid of the question already skipped you asking them to vote.
Well, then, I mean, they're skipping regardless. Anyway, one thing we did know is that a lot of people want the more open-ended questions we've been doing for the last two in a row. Like, do you want this or do you want that?
Sure.
And, so we're going with a much more open-ended question, something more grounded in reality that would really speaks to what Brad's
This is really
personality
grounded in reality, this
Yes.
question.
Brad, the question to you. We're giving you force powers, but you have to choose someone else on this planet who will also get force powers. Who do you choose?
Quick question.
Yeah.
What kind of force? Are we talking dark force powers or light?
That's up to you. So basically, we're letting you be attuned to the force, and then like where you go from there.
You have to walk your own path, Brad Ellis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, open-ended question doesn't have one answer.
Sure, it does.
Like, it's open-ended in that he could say anyone, but
Like, what's your
it's
favorite
one
color
answer.
is an open-ended question.
Right. But
no.
What do you want to be when you grow up is
an
an open-ended
question is like, what's wrong with the government?
There's
Or
there's
whatever.
No, there's a limited amount of things you could say that are wrong with the government.
Right, but it's not just one. It's not just like, oh, everyone's too tall.
I gotta disagree with this.
Let's just get this over with.
Okay.
Okay. I would pick my brother. Growing up with my brother.
Suck it, Huber.
Okay.
Yeah. We would, take that, Huber. We always, dumb kids, trying to do, I'm pretty sure everyone in their life has tried to do some sort of force thing
Yeah.
like that. That would be the dream.
How much older or younger is your brother from
My
you?
brother is 2 years older than me.
Okay.
So we're very close.
Yeah.
We're like best buds, pretty much.
That's really cool.
And if it's with my brother, it's someone I can trust with the force. I don't have
Yeah.
to worry about some maniac downtown shooting force lightning out people like that.
Yeah.
So we try to make the world a better place. We would choose light force, probably.
Oh, okay.
I want the Jedi mind trick.
I don't know your brothers. It'd be so sweet if you turned against each other. I think that was the latest
Never.
Old
Republic expansion.
That's what it was.
Two bros.
Well, they're twins, so they're
Right.
weirdos.
Has your brother? It's true. Yes. Has your brother ever betrayed you in real life?
No.
Nice.
No. They've
Okay.
always been really good with each other.
Whoa. Great answer, Brad. Let's move on to corrections. Please begin corrections music. Amplitude has a release date of January 5th, 2016, and December 23rd, 2015 for backers who pledged $40 or more.
Oh.
Dark Souls 3 will release on April 12th in the US, not
That's more
March
of a-
at all.
I was right.
The Amplitude one is more of a clarification.
Absolutely.
But is it March 24th in Japan?
Yes.
Because the other day they released 2 trailers on the same day that each had different dates.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so it
yeah,
got
yeah.
moved without telling anyone.
So
or
you're
whatever.
watching the Japanese trailer?
I was watching both.
Nice.
They were both in English.
They,
I think.
yeah, I mean, during the event, they had a press release for announcing the April release date. So they just acted like they didn't announce it before.
Gotta be honest, this correction music very loud.
Turn it up.
A few
It's
people.
loud for you guys?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's really loud.
It's super quiet for me.
Okay, a few people were upset that I didn't count Firewatch among our big releases of 2016. So here it is. That game comes out on February 9th on PS4 and PC.
That game is cool.
Played it at PSX. Cool.
It's also not a big release, but it is cool.
Ooh, burn.
It might be a big release. You know, they got the. Oh,
Shots
yeah.
fired.
Okay, all right.
I like Firewatch.
Yeah.
I do too.
Oh, I know, you all do. Oh, the voice acting. All right, so many people also mad that I never bring up Valkyrie Profile when we talk about Indivisible. So there it is. Wait, do you like Valkyrie Profile?
Yeah, dude. Valkyrie Profile 2 on PS2.
So is that combat similar to
Yeah,
Indivisible
kinda.
combat?
Yeah, kinda.
Okay, cool. So then that's what that is. Ian was referring to the High Roller at Valley Fair.
Haha, that's true.
Okay, also, there's some debate over whether General Grievous is a Force user or not, because he had some Jedi blood in
He's
him.
not.
I feel like I do remember him like doing this with his hand and a bunch of debris or something falling, but
You thought wrong.
on that bridge.
And apparently, like, you see
been a long time since I watched that
Dooku, like,
crappy
trying
movie.
to teach him some Force stuff.
He trained in the dark arts, but he doesn't know Force powers.
All right, that's our
He
official
was
GT
trained by
stance.
Count Dooku.
Yeah, to do Force stuff.
He didn't do any Force stuff.
Okay, there you have it. End corrections music. Thanks, Brad, for taking a stance.
Can
when I
the
was not willing
Force
to.
be trained now, or do you have to have the
Who knows?
midichlorians?
You can't. No normal person can just use the
Yeah.
Force.
That's stupid.
No, it's not.
I liked that it was like a thing that everyone in the universe could theoretically tap into. Some people
It
would
was
be
never
better at
that.
it.
It was
others.
never that.
Eh. It's like mutants. It's like Harry Potter. You know, you gotta be special.
Let's not go down
It's
this
also.
hole.
It's
Well,
like.
then why
it's
do I
like
give
I'm
real
gonna get
life?
upset. Let's not
Because
do
they're the
it.
special people.
Ian, it's also
not-
like real life, man. Like you're not gonna be an Olympic sprinter, dude.
To me, it's a stronger metaphor if it's like a force. It's like chi or whatever. It's like a force in the universe that if you train and discipline yourself enough, you can do it.
Well, one of the main things you have to consider is that like Star Wars is a story about a grandfather, a father, and a son, and so it's like the family lineage is like pivotal to that.
Right, and
so
that
if like
whole family's good at it.
right, well, yeah, I guess then it would be just that they're super powerful, not that just like no, it's there's not a lot of Jedi around. It's really just them, like just this series of Jedi that are kind of like
Right,
the
because-
last of their line.
The whole knowledge of the Force is dying. It's an ancient religion, but like, it's there. It's just not many people know about it to
I think,
try.
guys, I think we're gonna have to pick up this conversation again after episode 7.
Yeah, they'll sort it out.
Ian, could you also turn up my mic a little bit?
Oh my god.
Okay, so everybody
Wait,
knows.
Just to you?
Yeah,
How's
I guess. Maybe for
Okay,
everybody.
that's a little bit better. Yeah.
Does that sound better?
Yeah, it was real low.
Well,
I didn't
the
say anything
music
'cause you're
is
right next to
loud.
me, so-
Last time when I had the levels here, the mics were too loud. Like, sort it out.
I've never said. All right, okay.
Last
So
time you were like, "This is really loud."
it was really loud.
All right.
Last week.
No
Okay.
fighting. Move on.
We're
All
not
right.
fighting.
We're not fighting. This
we're
is just how we
Tired of
communicate.
listening.
talk to each
Keep
other.
going.
I'm tired
Tech speak.
of listening. Everyone knows my favorite way to start the show, right?
Game announcement.
With a fight.
Death.
Yeah, and we had a lot of game announcements happen over the course of the past week, of course, because there was the Game Awards and PlayStation Experience. So what I want to do today is really like dig into each of these game announcements because there are so many, and I'm very excited about several of these. First and foremost, the biggest game announcement of the past week: Ni no Kuni 2: Revenant Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Brad, you seem the most personally invested in this.
Yeah, here probably. Yeah. At this table, I mean, not at the office,
Well, what makes you so special?
because I've played it probably a lot more than anyone else here.
What's good about Ni no Kuni? Like, why would I pick that to lead off for game announcements amongst a week of so many other
Ni
game
no Kuni
announcements?
is just it's kind of like a return to good JRPGs coming back. Like the PS3 era was kind of like there's a bumpy road JRPGs like with Final Fantasy 13, all that. Ni no Kuni kind of came back and gave everyone like that sensation of PS2, PS1 era RPGs coming back. We're like, oh, there's hope again, kind of thing like that. And we're
Like-
seeing it kind of start to come back now too.
Like world maps
Yeah.
and towns.
Exactly, yeah. Like just a good game.
Mm-hmm.
Ni no Kuni is a really solid game.
And so, what did you see of Ni no Kuni 2 that's like, oh, this is the real deal? Like, what makes it an announcement?
Just seeing Ni no Kuni 2 period is a
Yeah.
huge announcement.
Exactly.
Yeah?
Yeah, like I that game did really well over here, and I don't think they expected that because it was on DS before in Japan. Then they released it in PS3, and I don't know if it did super well there. But here it did really well, surprisingly.
And I don't think they did the DS release over here. I
No,
think it was just
they
the
just
PS3.
skipped it.
Yeah. And that is cool. And a weird note that I just suddenly thought of when you said it did well here. I also really like the Ni no Kuni US box art. which is just like just white with the
the
gold
dart
letters.
on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Classy.
Classy.
It's a classy game, man.
Yeah,
classy
exactly.
series.
And it did well. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, I don't know. A lot of conventional wisdom was kicked out of the door with that.
It reminds me of like how we're getting near to, kind of like that has like a really good fan base, like strong fan base. You're like, whoa, this is awesome that this exists. This is really cool.
Yeah.
We're not used to seeing stuff like this anymore.
Brandon, you were there in the crowd. Oh, I guess Brad was too,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the live reaction to that?
That was one of the biggest reactions, from the show. I mean, definitely bigger than like Paragon, which followed it. Like Ni no Kuni 2 should have ended the show.
Yeah.
But I think one of the reasons it got a big reaction, I love that the trailer, that you don't get the title until the end. So the trailer really sells it on its own merit. So like introduces you to these characters. Like there were definitely specific moments where like a character would smile or do something funny that like the whole crowd would laugh. There's just like a lot of heart and a lot of character there. And just graphically, I think it's really exciting to see what they can do on new generation. Because the last game, I don't think anybody thought the last game looked bad at all. Like I know there were lots of different criticisms. You didn't like it?
No, I did not. I think it
What?
looked really weird. Yeah.
Well,
Whatever.
I'm sorry.
So be
The
it.
Kyle quotient you always have to
Yeah.
factor in
Like the-
to any equation.
It's it's actually it is
I'm certainly different.
It's very hard to-
It's certainly extremely unique in the world of role-playing games.
Absolutely.
because here's the reality of this though. It is very hard to take anime style characters and make them into 3D models because most of the time they don't work like that. It's
Right.
just like cartoons. It's just like they work at specific angles and don't at others. And sometimes they look straight up ugly in Ni no Kuni.
Oh, what about the Naruto games? What do you
Yeah,
think of
Naruto
those?
games do a good job.
Solid.
Solid?
So solid.
Okay.
Get out of here. This is the best in the world.
Best
and
in the biz, yeah.
Ni no Kuni was in that weird aspect where just like sometimes like, dude, your face looks stupid. Your face looks off, man.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm out.
Well, then now's our chance to do it right, Kyle.
Yeah, now you're in. You're in, right?
I'm in. I'm so
Awesome.
in for this because it looks perfect.
They're gonna have jokes though you're not gonna like.
Like what?
Like Meowjesty. You're not gonna like that stuff like that.
It's a possibility. Blood, did you play Ni no Kuni?
I didn't get to. I wanted to so bad.
What was the thing that kept you out of it?
I don't know, everything.
There's not everything. No, because you could play it today if you wanted to. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, there's
this-
always something there that's like that's not quite the game I need to play right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always working on something else, just constantly.
Blood, I'm not buying it, man. There was something that was just like, you know what? That's not for me right now.
It was 2 years ago. I don't know.
Yeah.
What it was. It was just.
An old console, possibly. You know, it's like once you
Yeah.
make that jump to a new console, like, oh,
is
am I
hard to
really
go
gonna
back.
break out?
No, it's before that,
I'll buy
wasn't
that.
it?
Well, I mean, right now, today.
Oh,
you know what
well,
I mean?
yeah.
Yeah, I'll buy that a little bit.
Yeah.
First game remastered when the second one comes out.
Oh, I
Like,
hope so.
Get
That'd be
people up to
really
date,
cool. That'd be great.
or at least just backwards compatibility.
No, you're totally right, Brandon. I bet that'll happen for sure. Because yeah,
Makes
there's
sense.
obviously no release date window.
Yeah.
Even
No idea.
Announced with it.
It was in English, wasn't it? The trailer?
Yes.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
And I love how much of it we got.
Yeah, it
like
means
that's a game. They've figured that story
Yeah.
out. That's a complete world. They're ready to go.
You're right, as opposed to the Final Fantasy VII trailer, which was like one section of one small
Right.
portion of the game. You're right. That was seemingly a large portion of that game.
Yeah.
So maybe it'll be coming soon. Maybe it's a
Hopefully.
2016 thing. Cool. Psychonauts 2 was announced at the Game Awards.
Yeah. Very little about that, unless Tim said stuff later.
I mean, I went to their page, the FIG page, and
So now you can know the disappointment of nobody buying Psychonauts.
wait, what does that mean?
Because you invest and you get money back. You're not gonna get money back.
Oh, man.
Oh my god! No, you can share in that. Ouch.
It's unique, you know. It's like we've come a long way. 20 years ago you couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Now you can. That's good.
You just look at all these people and it's like, why are you not buying this game?
I'm taken aback by that, Blood. Why aren't people buying that game?
Don't ask me. I guess they don't like silly characters.
Right. So Psychonauts. I always say Psychonauts is Psychonauts
Naughts.
is a 3D platformer, and it's like a Mario 64 style 3D platformer, right? Where you got a hub world and you kind of just go and explore these worlds. Very story heavy, I believe. And actually, I think did sell well over the course of time. Is basically how they start their FIG video. Is just like at this point, we've sold over 1 million copies of this game. There are a lot of fans out
It's
there.
like a cult hit now.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
A lot of Steam sales.
Yeah, a lot of Steam
A lot of
sales.
Steam
Yeah.
sales.
A lot of dirt cheap Steam sales, of course, thrown in there.
Good word of mouth.
But I mean, they're already way over halfway toward their $3.3 million goal. Brandon, do you think it's a good idea? Here's what I'm nervous about. Here's why I'm being sensitive. Because like Tim Schafer has like some investment in FIG, this new funding service. You know what I mean? And so it's kind of like, to me, it might seem like this Psychonauts 2 is supporting FIG as much as FIG is supporting Psychonauts 2. You know what I mean? FIG hasn't launched skyrocketed yet as a crowdfunding service. And so it's kind of like a big deal to put Psychonauts 2 on FIG. Do you get what I'm saying? Does it seem like that? Does it seem like FIG is the best fit for this, or
I don't know enough about. We haven't had a track record really to know that.
So you're saying there's backdoor shady deals going on?
But like ultimately, should I be upset about that? Is that your big question? Like,
No,
should
I think it's
like no Psychonauts, not Psychonauts. Any other franchise but Psychonauts.
Right, because I think it's a front door shady deal. I think it's just like a clearly just like, yeah, this makes sense. Is really what I think about it, I guess.
But again, like, is it going to happen otherwise? No. Then cool. Let's try this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it fits into that category of franchises that's like, let's count our lucky stars that it's coming back, and we'll see what happens.
I think there's also concern that like we're not sure Double Fine can like pull this off. Broken Age with its $3.3 million came out as it did. We like part 2 is part 2, and so like to think of them suddenly taking that same amount of money and making a 3D platformer seems unrealistic.
Okay.
Not to the panel though. We're cool with that.
I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I'm like,
Well, I mean, we'll see. Yeah.
It's kind of like Telltale making like 8 different franchises a year. And you're like, something's got to slip.
But
like,
Telltale's got it, dude. They got it down. They're like making the same game over and over with just different things. And like I believe Batman Telltale games will come out exactly when they expect it to.
Right.
it'll probably be like low budget in some areas. Like I don't know how good it'll look visually.
Sure.
Or something like that.
Do we like how it looked in the trailer?
What, Batman?
They just showed their models, right? The character models?
Yeah,
it looked fine.
Psychonauts 2.
Oh, Psychonauts 2.
I think it looked really good,
yeah,
is the
that's
thing.
fine.
I think they look like good modernizations of
Who
those
knows?
characters.
Yeah.
Things change in development.
Sure.
Really, the Psychonauts PlayStation VR announcement was better
That
than,
was
actually than
interesting,
the other Psychonauts thing.
Why was that announcement better?
Because he did the Palmer Lucky pose on this time.
Yeah, that's true.
So
yeah.
because it was attached to a good joke is why it's a better announcement?
Yep.
I think, Brandon, I don't know, that sounds insane, but there's something to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hope this is actually kind of the dawn of people doing more stuff like this. But like, I loved Adult Swim had an announcement at PSX that they like were like, "Hey, PlayStation Experience," and then it was like, "That's so cool!" Like, and that is white text on a black background, and I'm like touched, like,
Yeah,
oh, wow,
people
he did a
loved it.
custom thing. It's like, how easy is that?
Were people laughing in the crowd?
Yeah. Oh yeah, they loved
they
that.
were
Like
stoked.
that definitely got a big reaction.
That's cool.
Because I just like the air of like, hey, you want to be here. We need to be here to support our business. We all understand why we're here and what we're here to do. So let's enjoy ourselves. Like let's not take too long like doing these announcements and stuff. So yeah, like what's the guy from Psychonauts? I don't know the main character's name.
Roz?
But like
Is that
him
his
like
name?
taking the goggles off and PSVR. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like when you see montages that are like super serious at being like all Sony's E3 press conferences all start that way, where it's just like super heavy about like talking about games and like how important Sony is, how important the industry is. And when you just have like a lighter attitude about it, I think it goes over better.
Just to save you some corrections, we know it's pronounced Raz. Don't bother. Next, let's talk about Paragon. Obviously, it wasn't announced, but it was basically the reveal of Paragon.
It's called the announcement trailer on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like, you already announced it.
Well, I guess they didn't announce what Paragon was until the very end of the PlayStation Experience keynote. This is a big deal. This is Epic Games making a MOBA. I've said my piece about this to a great extent on the Final Bossman, so I want to hear everyone else's opinions. Blood, what do you think about Paragon?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to really give any kind of opinion on it because I don't play MOBAs. I don't follow that scene. It does feel like it's sort of hit with a thud. Like there doesn't seem to be that much excitement for it. But I think that's part of it is like, it's like you're either in that scene or you're not. And so as soon as somebody hears the word MOBA and they're not into MOBAs, well, just check out immediately.
And that's the thing, Blood, is I feel like even if you are in the MOBA scene, I still think you hate the word MOBA. I still don't think like that like gets you excited. It's such a strange thing to try to invade.
Because then it becomes like a Me Too thing, right? Like people don't really see it properly as a genre. It's just like, no, we've got the games that we like, and then everyone else is just trying to latch on.
Yeah, I absolutely get that. Do you think this? I mean, obviously it has a chance for success, but like, what's the road to success for Paragon?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, you're gonna have to like really just kind of get some street cred, really. Like get in with the community and get them playing it and get them to like it.
Brandon, you had a thought on this.
Yeah, I think they shouldn't go the character route. because I think they're beat there. Like, I think like Battleborn has had so much more time to make so much more noise about all of its crazy kooky characters, and like characters are really like one of the things you take from Borderlands. It's one of the things you would really know Gearbox for. And then there's just this like unbelievable craftsmanship in Overwatch, you know, and just like the world is so realized, and like the like good versus evil is set up so well in that world. And then like that was one of the things where you see Paragon, it's just like, more characters. I don't know if I can like accept into my heart like a whole nother crew of people. But they're really playing up like this is performing really well. You know, this is from like one of the franchises we made had the word tournament in the title. So like it'd be really interesting for them to go like really for the esports crowd and be like, this is a game that you're going to be using skills that you don't use in any of these other games. It really is like, because like what was it? Gearbox really shunned the whole MOBA talk. They were like, no, it's a hero shooter.
Yeah,
it's not a
they
MOBA.
did hate it. Yeah.
And the first sentence they came out on stage, they're like, we made a MOBA.
Yeah.
Well, that's
So, like,
good. At least we know what it is, actually.
So I think if they make that play hard for the competitive crowd, like
Yeah.
like get as many esports guys as they can, sit them down, have them play the characters, have them pick a favorite, and have them make videos explaining to the crowd like here's how you do really well with this guy. But if they like try to get serious about this world, if they're like, no, see, here's what paragons are, Kyle. It's like, no, stop, don't do that. Like, because I'm exhausted. I can't get more of that. You know, and they already kind of done that, like showing off the characters. Well, I guess they did. They show off the character models. Yeah, like I think the whole tech approach, I think, will do well. Kind of reminds me of Destiny, where it's like probably gonna launch at like a 7.5 to 8 range, but like will last. Like it'll find a crowd that really likes it if it's good. And I mean, it's Epic, so.
What have you seen?
The odds are good.
Of like the actual abilities. You said like some things you can do in this game that you can't in others. Like what do you think? Like what's a Paragon move that's like, oh, this is Paragon right there?
There's the teleporting guy that looks crazy. He like does like a purple ball that sucks like 3 guys into it. I think those are like fodder though. I think those are like
creeps.
Creeps, yeah. So, but still could be interesting. Like the concept of like taking somebody, even like a teammate, like grabbing a teammate and teleporting them to another part of the battlefield might be cool. Really need to know the rules though. Really need to understand what's happening
Need to see
right
it
now.
more, yeah.
Which Overwatch didn't say it really at the beginning, but then it didn't like kind of tease it, and they make such a big deal in the trailer about these like blue and red orbs or, you know, things that they're trying to attack, and it's just like, does that just straight up damage? Is there kind of like Gigantic when Gigantic first came out? It's like that seems cool, but what am I controlling these big monsters? Like how do I, you know?
Gigantic looks like a cool single player game I want to play, and then it's just like we're in MOBA. It's like, oh, okay.
But the rules of Gigantic are actually kind of confusing. Like you can't, you know, like you can't attack all the time, and you can't support your guy all the time. So
I forgot about Gigantic. I would really fit this in here too.
yeah.
Like this is a pretty stuffed category coming up next year.
Yeah, if Battleborn's trying to play catch up, Gigantic's just like, well,
We're here.
We'll get the audience we can.
Gigantic has this advantage. I think it's coming, sooner, obviously, than Paragon, and I think Microsoft will support it. I think
That's Xbox One exclusive, right?
right, or console exclusive,
Right.
Yeah, and so I think that it'll have some Microsoft promotion behind it.
And that's the other thing that I think the PC crowd will love Paragon. I think they'll be all over
Sure,
it.
yeah.
So they want to crank that up. We mentioned that in trailer score that you were like, well, I don't know if the consoles will look like this. So it's like they'll definitely, a cool realistic shooter like that is unique out of all of these. Like out of the other 3 things we mentioned, like they're all very cartoony.
I actually read a comment of like someone who was like, hey, listen, this is why I'm interested in Paragon. It's a realistic looking sci-fi universe, and no one else is doing that in MOBA. Everyone else goes pretty exaggerated.
True. Yeah.
And so maybe it'll find a little crowd for itself.
Yeah.
Sorry, Brad.
Smite's pretty popular.
Yeah.
I never thought Smite would be that popular.
Yeah, me
People
too.
love it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the kind of thing where, like, even if you get like a small chunk of the MOBA audience, it's still a huge
It's
chunk.
a huge audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I saw this, I was like, hey, all right, Smite on the PS4. I'll give it a shot. Because Smite's only on the Xbox, so can't play it on a console.
Wait, I'm sorry, Ian. When you saw Paragon, you said, oh, Smite on the PS4?
Yeah, because it doesn't matter. It's just a different skin on the same garbage.
Oh wow.
Moving on, let's talk about Batman, a Telltale game series. So I want to share a story with everyone. This happened earlier the week of the Game Awards. It was like Monday or Tuesday. Brandon came in and said, you know what Telltale needs? They need their own IP. I'm sick of Telltale just coming in and saying like, hey, we're another game is coming in, another franchise is coming to Telltale. Friday morning, he came in gleaming at the prospect of a Telltale Games borrowing another IP. Brandon, can you explain this?
Batman in a word.
Sure.
Like, yes.
You're a big Batman fan.
Yeah, and I don't think like a Captain America game wouldn't work. You know, like there's other characters that just wouldn't work, but like
Sure.
he's a detective. You know, like, and I think that's especially seeing what they did with Wolf Among Us, just like. Wow, I'm gonna play that 5 times. You know, especially since like I just finished Game of Thrones like this like at 3:30 in the morning, and like right when I finished it, I was like, well, now I know what to do. You know, like I don't have time, but like I want to play the whole darn thing again because like now I know what to do.
And you
when
can
I get
see
to that point
yourself-
with Batman, I am going to play it again. Wait, I'm getting Mr. Freeze this time. I'm gonna do it again.
I got a little lucky with Tales from the Borderlands because once I got to that and like I saw like the percentages of some of the things that I decided, I'm like, I got this right maybe by accident. You know, it's like I made the right choices along the way.
I believe you'll be a good Batman, Brandon.
Fingers crossed.
The trailer I like a lot. The reveal trailer.
Yeah.
It started with kind of ink splotches. You're not sure what you're watching yet, and that's what you kind of have to do when you have Batman. Is like you can like lead people along, and we'll figure out when it's Batman. I think it was when they showed Bruce Wayne. They're like, this Playboy is something. It's like, okay, so it's a Batman game. Was that a good trailer? As a trailer aficionado, Brandon?
Yeah, they got me actually. I didn't know until the logo reveal. Maybe I wasn't really like focusing on that, or maybe my head was in a different space. But yeah, I like that reveal. I'm the kind of Batman fan where like I can get really upset at things and be like, that's bad. I didn't like that interpretation of that. But I'm always down for it. Like if you have a Batman anything, I remember like Batman versus Dracula, the weird. There was like the show called The Batman where he was like really young and like crazy action stuff and all the villains were really weird. Yeah, there was Batman versus Dracula and I'm like, let's do it. Sure, I'll watch that.
Yeah, that's sweet.
So I love a different interpretation of Batman. And so I actually, instead of it being like, oh, we based this on Jim Lee's thing or we based this on, this version of Batman, I would love it if Telltale's like, nope, we designed our own brand new Batman. Our own Batmobile, our own Batsuit, our own Alfred, everything.
That's the vibe we're getting, I think,
Yeah.
which is a good decision.
That's exciting.
A vampire, like if Batman lost and got bit by Dracula and became a vampire Batman, that'd be super cool.
There is a comic book that does that. And
Whoa, really?
at the end, Gordon and Alfred have to go in and stake him.
Whoa.
And they like walk out of the Wayne Manor all sad.
They do it together.
Spoilers. Yeah.
Do they walk out like that? Like,
Just kind of.
Yeah, it's a two-parter.
I'm so sad.
It's a two-parter. He destroys Dracula at the end of the first part, but gets bit, and then the second part's him.
So you read this stuff too?
Oh yeah.
Okay. You're not just a casual
I didn't
Batman
know you
fan.
knew how to read.
Okay.
I did. Yeah.
Why do you do that?
I think I keep forgetting. And then
Pointless joke
Oh boy.
at just random.
I can at
Completely
certain
random.
distances.
Brad, how do you feel about Telltale games?
Not good.
Okay, I needed this. I needed this. I need someone on this end.
Telltale games are bad.
So why?
From my experience, what I've played Game of Thrones season 1.
Okay.
And I was like, Game of Thrones, I'm in.
Uh-huh.
Like, I'm jumping in. Oh, so bored.
Why?
I could not get into it. In the game, like, I know there's not a lot of gameplay, but I think I need a little more gameplay in those games instead of just dragging your analog stick across the map. And
Are there
pushing
like
a button.
QTEs?
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. And it ran like dog shit, so it's like, I don't want to play this.
That's my thing. Like their engine is terrible. It just those games
Yeah.
don't work.
That's what they need to do is get the tech on point before they're spreading themselves way too thin with the amount of products they do.
yeah.
It's amazing, like even with just one frame of animation being off, like it'll like jump right into like a cool dramatic moment that you can get into, but like right before that happens, that you can tell the character was like facing this way. And then
Yeah.
just, like,
Yeah.
Oh wow.
There's
even
constant
just a frame of
pop-in
that.
like
Just
that.
sort it out, man.
The lip sync is always terrible. I was playing chapter 1 of The Wolf Among Us. I was like, in the last 5 minutes, it crashed and just I didn't have a save anymore, and I just like, all right, I'm not doing this again. Like
Wow.
this, and you can't go fast through it. Like it has to take the pace, which is fine. But like when your thing doesn't work, and you're gonna have to replay every chapter 5 times because it crashes, that's unacceptable.
I don't have to worry about embargo. I can just say this because it's been like 2 weeks since Game of Thrones came out. But yeah, they made a decision for me in between chapters, and I'm like, I definitely did not do that. I tried really hard not to make that happen.
that's not okay
And then
in a
in the
game
next
about
chapter, they were like,
decisions.
well, you screwed that up. I'm like, I did.
So Brandon, despite all this, you're still looking forward to this Batman game.
Yeah, because I didn't have a lot of expectations. Like, I'm not going to give Game of Thrones the best score in the world, but like, I don't have, I'm not attaching like, oh, this better be great. And I think that's kind of the attitude I'm going to go in with Batman. It's not like this better realize all my Batman dreams ever. It's like, I already had a franchise that had 4 games in it that did that, and that was great. So like, it's not like I'm hungry for somebody to finally like get it right in the Batman universe.
Well,
I'm just curious what they're gonna do.
Sure.
It's interesting to me though, because talking about being spread thin. Because I mean, I have been playing Tales from the Borderlands same time. I don't have any of those kind of issues with this game. So it's almost, I wonder if like they have like an A team and a B team or something, or if they got
What are you playing it on?
I'm playing it on PC, so I think that may be part of it. Is it's porting the engines.
I think that is like, because their engine is designed sort of to go on everything, like including iPad.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think it only actually works on PC and just doesn't on anything else.
And they also made Minecraft this year.
Yeah,
Minecraft
they're
story
still,
mode.
they're still working on that.
Too much,
Yeah,
man.
that's a lot of Telltale
Pump
games.
the brakes.
It'd be great if like punch in the face is just always like the X button in
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the Batman Telltale. It's just like, it's just always an
Always
option.
punch.
You know?
Always punch.
If you ever want to just end the conversation right now.
But it's
as
but
long
it's
as there's
interesting,
also
though,
a
because-
grappling hook button.
Yeah.
But I mean, even some of the stuff that's not down to the engine, just like animation and stuff, it just feels like it's another level above what, definitely above anything Borderlands does.
True.
And above what most of the other Telltale games
Still
do.
feels a little budget though, like facial animation in particular, because it'll just be like, now I'm mad, and just like shift back into like, now I'm okay.
They feel, to me, I mean, this is a bit harsh, but to me, they feel budget, and they also feel kind of lazy, and it's supported by the fact that they're putting out like 6 games a year.
Yeah, it's not lazy. It's scheduled, man.
Yeah.
Right, but it because they're spread so thin, they have to be. They can't, I don't know. I mean, I don't pretend to know how their company goes, but.
And it's also like the way they're budgeted. You know what I mean? Like they aren't $60 games every time. So like, yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. No, I think it has a lot to do with their packed schedule. Like even in terms of like when these things release, it's like there's no build up. It's just like, hey guys, there's episode 3. Like what really? We didn't have time to make room for this or anything, or to get excited. It just, there it is.
Yeah, I think that they're good at that though. I mean, we were just talking about King's Quest and how long Chapter 1 to Chapter 2 that gap is going to be. It's pretty crazy.
Although with that game, Chapter 1 felt like a pretty complete game.
Yeah, Chapter 1 was excellent.
yeah.
I want more.
Chapter 2 is next week, by the way. How cool is that?
Wow.
I'm pumped for that. Another game announcement. Ace Combat 7.
Ooh. Remember that guy in the crowd?
There was a guy
Yeah.
Please tell us about this
at the
guy.
PSX keynote
Freaking out.
that was there for this game. Like that was, and it's great. It's just that's what's so great about PSX is like only at PSX would you find some guy, because normally like when you get a bunch of game fans and journalists together, then you find that one Shenmue guy, like that GIF where the guy was like crying, like was standing up with his hands up, when Shenmue 3 got announced, and some other guy that was on a stage that looked like this that was jumping up and down. But like it's not only fun to see that one guy freaking out about Ace Combat, but clearly like his friends, like his 3 or 4 friends next to him, they're just cracking up because they're like, yeah, I was like this morning you mentioned Ace Combat, we were like eating breakfast, and it's just like, well, there you go, buddy. Like there's your announcement.
The funniest thing to me too is that they always know, like some weird thing cues them on, like they know it.
Yeah.
Like way before everyone else who doesn't follow the series. So like the guy that was, because we were in like the front, we were in the front row for the keynote because we got there so early, and the guy was, I think like 6 or 4 people down from us, and they said something before the video even started, like something really innocuous, and he just went, yes.
No. I think they said like this comes from a Bandai Namco franchise or something like that.
Right, yeah, but
Yeah.
that could have been like 8 things.
Yeah.
And he was just already, and then, oh man, he was freaking out. It was awesome.
It was funny, like they actually, I think a mistake in the script when they introduced Ni no Kuni 2 was saying level 5 first. Like literally the first words he said was like level 5, and it was like like the whole like 85% of the people knew they were just
And the rest of
waiting
the
for
sentence is gone too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, we're
and
not
then I'm
listening
just
to what
like,
you're
what?
saying.
Who did they make? What is that?
But Ace Combat VR, that writes
Yeah,
itself.
cool idea. Really cool.
Oh, yeah.
Well, so I do want to talk about like this trailer in particular because I rewatched it. It is strange.
That trailer
Yeah.
makes no sense.
So we see
That woman or man, I think it was a woman, but she's
it's a
like
woman.
on top of that ledge,
Right.
waiting to jump. Like you think she's gonna do something badass the whole trailer.
Yeah.
And then at the end, she just jumps, and then you see her helmet fly like she just got hit by a plane or something.
And it's really cool. Like it's kind of sci-fi because you never see the top of that tower.
Yeah.
It's so strange. And then there's that. It's like a huge bomber that's got on its belly a bunch of sick little transforming drones that it stops and like shoots at the 2 jets that we're fighting. A really interesting trailer, I think.
I'm ready for Advanced Warfare Ace Combat VR. We're ready.
Wait, what is Advanced Warfare?
Or I mean,
Oh, you mean like that future tech?
it's been like
weird stuff
slightly
that.
futuristic in the past, but
Yeah,
like not,
yeah.
you know, I mean, definitely more arcadey than sim, but it'd be fun to see it go in that direction.
Sure, yeah.
So I guess this game is the perfect way to transition into VR talk. Like Ace Combat VR does seem like a perfect fit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, especially with Eve Valkyrie. You know, I mean, anything where you're sitting in a cockpit makes it way easier.
I guess my only issue with that is, you know, you have to make some sacrifices to make something run at 120 frames per second or whatever VR needs. Ace Combat traditionally is just a freaking beautiful game, even on PS3, you know? Do you think they'll make those compromises with this game visually?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't actually expect them to. It probably will be essentially the same engine as the PS3. Yeah, yeah.
I get what you're saying.
So.
And yeah, the trailer looked like gameplay. Basically, I'm pretty sure that was a gameplay trailer. And, you know, it looks like how it looks, basically. Nobody thinks it looks bad, right?
Yeah.
But no one thinks it looks great. I guess it's just
I think
right
it's
in that
good for
line.
VR.
It's what
yeah.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, all
VR
they
game.
have to do is a bunch of blue and then some water and then some planes.
Some clouds.
Some clouds, yeah.
No,
Like,
because
it
what
doesn't
made
have to be hard.
the other Ace Combat's so sick is like they're over cities and they're like over.
Oh
like,
yeah, flying under
populated-
that bridge in the PS1 or 2 demo, it was the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing too that like a flight game benefits from with VR is it frees up the second analog stick, because now you can look around and you can do this two different ways. Number one, you can have, you know, your flight controls on the stick, and you can have where you're looking be where you're shooting, which Riggs does, or you can have now 3 controls where you're moving the plane, you're looking around, and then you have another reticle for your guns.
Sick. Yeah, that is very cool. First-person shooters could be like that too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Riggs is basically a first-person shooter.
Oh, Riggs is the that's Gorilla.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
MOG
Yeah.
game.
I forgot what you were talking about when you were talking about Riggs. Okay, so yeah. So with that game, right analog stick is like move your cursor, move your
No.
gun?
Where you look is where you shoot.
Oh, okay. That's really well, gosh, that's a little scary then, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Steep learning curve.
Like
probably.
do a 180 right now.
No,
that-
I
like
think
that.
I think there's a button for that.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
So it's maybe like Splatoon, where like where you look is like the adjuster, but you still can use the analog sticks.
In Eve Valkyrie, they do a cool thing where, and I guess other weapons are going to be like this too, but your regular gun is R2, and that's just kind of shooting where you're flying with the left stick. But to do missiles, you hold L2 and then look at your target, and you have to stay looking at them. You have to like track them with your head, and then it'll lock in, and then you release L2, and it shoots like 6 missiles at them.
Yes.
It feels really
That's cool.
Yes. Wait, when did you play that?
At PSX on Saturday.
So you got some good VR demos in.
I played Eve Valkyrie, yeah.
All right, so let me go through the rest of the announcements, but interject any cool things about VR like that. That's really interesting. 100-foot robot golf was announced.
Cool.
Very cool.
Jolly.
Yeah, this is like a game that didn't need VR, but for some reason is announced as a VR game. Maybe that's.
Wait,
go ahead.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
VR?
Yeah.
I thought that was after the VR, and they were transitioning out, and no one understood that they were done talking about VR.
I'm almost positive that's a VR game.
Cause he said like we have one more VR thing, and then they started talking about that. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Be your fact checker. Let's look at this up live.
Right now?
Yeah.
How do I search that? I guess I'll just search if it's VR.
Yeah.
But No Goblin is cool. I thought Roundabout was a fun game.
Wait, what?
Roundabout.
What
They
is
made
that?
Roundabout. It's that spinning limo game with FMVs.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
that's the same studio?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't catch that?
Did
Yeah.
not catch that. So what is the Japanese game? Basically the same thing where it's like a rod you spin around? Okay, so it's that. They made a limo game where you're just playing that from top down, and then they went ahead and made 100-foot robot golf. Very cool.
Yeah.
And what I like about 100-foot robot golf is that it's a silly game that's not necessarily like silly for kids silly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How is this VR? What?
It's
Well,
VR.
I mean, we were just talking about Riggs, and one thing that pisses me off about Riggs and their advertising is they have like the Tony Stark moments, like the actors that are like, oh, you know.
Oh, I didn't,
in the trailers,
yeah.
I
it's
didn't
like,
see that.
In their
So-
marketing,
Stop
for
it,
sure.
you know.
They
and
just, I don't think they haven't found a good way to market VR yet.
I guess it is.
yeah, you can
VR,
just show me that world, and so like I love the attitude around that golf game. Like I love the way that they announced it, and just seems like just a fun game. It's hard to get mad at that game because you're just like, oh right, you got to create things that are just tests basically for VR that like might not be fully developed games now, and it's like, yeah, well, why not make something fun?
Because if you haven't seen this trailer, sure, it's 100-foot robots playing golf, but then they just start wrecking buildings, and you're
And
like,
each other,
this
just
is
like
a
running
game
up to
about
other
having
guys
fun.
golfing
Yeah.
and just smacking each other around.
Yes. Yes. Exactly. Yes. Thank you for making a weird, fun game.
But what you're saying is interesting in terms of the advertising. Like I didn't see that rigs thing because that just sounds gross. But it's like, there's certain things that like you can't really express. Like in rigs in particular, when somebody shoots you down and then all of a sudden you eject, like 50 feet up into the air, like that like hits your stomach. It's
Sure.
like, you're not expecting that, you're not seeing that coming, and then like, woo.
More announcements. Actually, I think this is worth saying. Like, they announced a lot of games for PlayStation VR at PSX. The Modern Zombie Taxi Company.
Game looks rad.
That's another kind of
That's
like
Crazy Taxi, dude.
Yeah, Crazy
Yeah.
Taxi Zombies. Way in.
Crazy Taxi with zombies. Another like silly game, not just designed for kids, but just like, hey, we just made a fun, silly game.
Sure, yeah.
Also, what company made that? Because I remember expecting something way more serious out of that company.
Yeah, I do forget that studio. I guess we need you again,
I'll
Ian.
look that up.
Okay.
What's the name of it again?
The Modern Zombie Taxi Company.
Okay.
Eagle Flight.
Oh,
This is from Ubisoft.
yeah.
It looks like maybe they're using a lot of Assassin's Creed towns.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
They're like,
Yeah.
oh, we had this. Let's just
Yeah.
throw it in VR.
Let's throw a game together.
So just imagine a VR game where you get to fly around Assassin's Creed towns as an eagle.
Sure.
Paris is what they showed in the trailer.
Yeah.
not?
I think I don't know if it was Kotaku or Polygon or who, but I saw like a headline or something is like, like new VR game lets you play as the eagle you shoo away from all these tops of the buildings.
Gladly. I'm much more excited about that than an Assassin's Creed game. It looks like we're flying. Absolutely. Just weird to see. It's cool to see Ubisoft. It looks like, a small game. It doesn't look like a big game.
Yeah, it's not so much like what I think they should have done with that game, but more like how much it's going to cost.
Yeah.
It's like if that's
Yeah, if it's
that's packaged in with something, or
15,
is like
10 bucks.
Yeah, so
Sure.
And they did grow home for $10, so yeah.
Yeah. And I just feel like here's my hope for VR is when people are buying these up, so they're very expensive, that people just start buying these games. So it's like $20. Okay, I got a VR thing. I need to like play VR games.
Probably will, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think in some cases people are going to want to, put games out there for cheap, especially Sony.
Yeah.
They're going to want to keep people using them and keep them excited.
I'm gonna make a guess that it's packed in with at least 5.
It's Sony Santa Monica.
Oh, really?
yeah.
Sony Santa Monica is a lot of things, isn't
Yeah,
it? That's
they do
so
a
weird.
lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But I
I mean,
think
because
he
sometimes
said
they act as
something.
like an indie publisher. So
Yeah.
He said something before that I was like, oh, this will be cool, like pretty thing, and then okay, never mind. Nightmare Physics.
You're right, because like Sony Santa Monica, I think also like kind of published Unfinished Swan.
Right.
Yeah, so it's like we got to dig deeper, Ian. We got to find out who is developing that game. Don't stop digging. Rock Band VR. Okay, we're done digging. Rock Band VR
no,
announced at the Game
no.
Awards. Wait, so this is our first no. What is this? Why is this no?
This should not happen.
Okay.
Why not? It seems like an easy thing to just puke out there for the 6 people who want it.
Well, exactly. There's no attachment to anything in that game. Like it's pointless. The attachment is playing with your friends around the couch, and now you can't see your friends around the couch. What?
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like it'd be a single-player endeavor.
Oh,
exactly.
absolutely. Yeah.
Exactly.
But it's.
So I mean, if you want to play Rock Band and you're alone, VR.
Yeah, the way that they positioned it, and it is worth saying, Palmer Luckey came out here to shill it himself during the Game Awards. It is like they were talking about, Dragon Force, and they were talking about just like that. I think
Feeling like that.
That old Guitar Hero mentality of like you are the rock god, not like you're having fun with friends, but like you're special. And I think that's what the game speaks to. But you're right, it's very isolated.
You don't have any fingers in it, do you?
I did not see fingers. I
kinda
saw a
weird.
floating guitar.
Yeah, I wonder if you can see yourself. Like, if you
if you
customize
lose your
yourself.
place and you're like, where am I on the guitar?
Yeah,
and then,
you
like,
better know those buttons, boy,
Yeah.
when you play that game.
gotta
Oh,
feel
because
it
you
out.
can't look down in
Because
real
like I
life.
don't play Rock Band that much. I'm like, oh, what note is this again?
You know the buttons. You absolutely know the buttons if you play the game a lot. You'll never get lost.
Well, I just said I
This
don't.
is Rock Band, not
Yeah.
Guitar Hero, right?
Right.
Rock
Yeah.
Band,
Okay, yeah.
So again, like rock.
Rock
I
Band
mean,
will try
maybe it'll
anything.
be maybe it'll have multiplayer, but still, it's like, They probably can't play the drums very well. And
Yeah, they didn't actually show the UI. They showed us like a simulation of what it looks like us in the world. But yeah, they didn't actually show if there's like we still have the track coming down at us.
And as the one who like reviewed Rock Band for GameTrailers, like the venues are like one of the worst parts of that game. You know, they're like, oh, you're in New York now, and then you go to like just a bar. There's like
Yeah.
there's nothing. There's no Broadway posters. There's nothing. You know, there's no like
Nothing to
I don't
make it
know,
New
just
York, you
Nothing
mean?
that says New York about this environment at
I get
all.
what you're saying.
So like being on the stage and looking out, like I don't really care to do that. That's not going to be that immersive for me unless they change it up.
That is something I liked about early Rock Band games and early Guitar Hero games is actually the progression of starting with little like indie shows and then eventually becoming like
that was
going to
fun.
concerts. That's a cool idea. I hope
I
Rock
think
Band VR does that.
Rock Band VR, like, it could be really cool just if the highway looks cool and like maybe it's like static in space and if you look this way it stays there or so, I don't know.
Sure.
It could be cool, but yeah, it's nothing to
But Rez.
It's on
Nothing
teleprompters.
Rez is
Yeah.
actually next, Blood. Let's talk about
Yeah.
Rez.
res.
I mean, I haven't actually played Rez. It's just always been one of those things that I've kind of admired from afar. I know people are like
Ryan
really
Stevens'
crazy
t-shirt.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that you saw that suit that Mitsuguchi was wearing is like 14 vibrators all over it or something.
Yeah. And then like people got to demo it with
Yeah.
their own like vibrating suits as well. And gosh, that was cool that he was revealed at the end of that. He was like wearing like a Daft Punk basically suit because it was all neon lit up. And then at the end rips off his helmet and he's smiling and waves. And then
that
Adam
was a
Boyce comes out.
misstep though, because like they needed to, as he revealed himself, they needed to say who he was.
They didn't make
disagree.
it feel. They didn't make it feel like a reveal. Honestly,
make it-
it made
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It felt like a mistake. It felt like somebody was supposed to have gotten off of him already.
He went off script probably.
You all
no.
didn't like that moment? I love
Well, I don't know.
that
I've
moment.
never heard of this guy before. I need
Okay.
I need someone to say on the board like creator of Rez, blah blah blah, and then I'm like, oh, that's rad.
I think that would ruin it a little bit.
I don't
No,
think
because like I was in the room, no
Yeah.
one reacted to him revealing himself
Okay.
at all. No one.
All right.
So like, and then whoever came out after, like Adam Boyce or whatever, was like, that was the guy.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
everyone's like, oh, cool.
Yeah,
now
yeah.
I understand what the hell was going on.
That was a good move by Boys, actually.
Yeah.
I do like that at
They
the end.
needed to have said that.
Yeah. But anyway, let's talk about why Rez, this old game, is a huge announcement for VR.
Well,
I need more. Give me.
It just works. It just fits. It just makes sense.
Yeah.
There's not many on rails like franchises like that.
Yeah, I mean it's just a psycho trip already, and so now you put it to like completely immerse yourself in that, especially with the vibrating suit. You know,
Yeah.
it's like it's entirely like an experience.
The music's a huge component to Rez, and
Yeah.
so you're in worlds. It doesn't feel as much like you're on a track, you know, as maybe with Amplitude. You know what I mean? Like it feels like you're traveling through these worlds, and the music is legit, basically, and I think that's a huge component of it because it feels like when you are shooting and locking on, it feels like you're adding to the music, and I think that's like a huge component of Rez and what makes that a huge thing that people remember.
I think also the PlayStation 4 is a system that can handle Rez like no problem. So I think when you stack that up to something like Valkyrie, which because it's trying to make this like super hyper realistic looking world, that might kind of like you might kind of see like the object that's actually right in front of your face. Where if it's I don't know, just kind of not simplistic, but just kind of like a little more basic
Well,
shapes
it's
and
abstract,
colors.
yeah.
Abstract, yeah, and maybe a little easier to accept it, to get immersed. I did not hear one negative thing about that game.
That's crazy, isn't it?
The whole time it was a PSX.
Isn't
Everyone
that
was
insane?
freaking out about it, yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
something interesting I heard was that I don't know if you said this already, but someone said I was talking to at PSX and they said, "Man, I could never get like this certain sequence was always really hard. I would miss it. It would go past." And now in VR, apparently you can just follow it, like turn your head and like still get it as it goes past you, which seems like a cool evolution of the game itself.
dude, that's an evolution of gaming. That's why I'm so
Yeah.
excited.
Res.
Oh my gosh. VR.
So cool.
Pumped for VR. Still no release date or price point
Yeah,
on
interesting.
PlayStation VR. We don't know when that's coming, so I guess we'll just be patient. Psychonauts Rhombus of Ruin also announced, but
Yeah.
let's wrap up the VR. Let's stop talking about it. We did it. I'm excited. Brandon, are you still not excited about VR?
No, I'm very excited about VR. I'm not excited about the possibility of VR making me sick at events, which is why I don't get to try it a lot of times.
Right.
Because I just have, there's like, oh, I want
Has
to
it
see that,
happened
that,
once?
and
Have you gotten sick once?
that. No, I've just gotten sick when I've done VR
Yeah.
before.
We
So
also
I'm just
we
like,
also have a separate VR.
I'm gonna wait till it's in the office and I
Did
can
you
do
do-
we get like a unit here?
Because I got sick as a dog on Oculus Dev Kit 1.
Yeah.
But haven't gotten sick since. So I think the dev kit 1 was just not there yet.
Yep.
Apparently the Vive is like bulletproof.
Yeah, it is not because I think it will. It's just rolling the dice, you know. So
Okay.
I'm not gonna.
And you like
Ready to risk it. Lots of other games to play.
And you're editor in chief. You can't be around barfing.
That.
Yeah. Oh man, I remember like passing out at E3. Like I was so embarrassed when I was like holding the microphone. We'll move on.
But,
Wait, sorry. What's up, Blood?
We do have another VR video coming with Don Casanova, who climbed Everest in VR.
Who's
and-
Don Casanova?
Come on.
Come on.
This is like you got to promote him.
He sits next to Ian. He's one of our editors.
The unsung hero.
The unsung hero, yeah.
He pumps it out, so it's good stuff. But he's been really into VR, and so I got him. They went to see what was it, Paranormal Activity a while back, and now he got to do the Everest thing. But Huber was sick, so Huber didn't get to do that. But Huber did get to do multiplayer Eve Valkyrie, so they're gonna kind of tag team those two guys into one video.
Kind of sounds like you're doing a plug for a video in the middle of our podcast
Yeah,
here.
that's exactly what I'm doing.
All right.
Kyle hates that.
Is that under embargo?
I think the embargo was today. I saw a bunch of people tweeting about stuff.
Here, I have listed on my rundown games that Brad wants to talk about. Brad was
okay.
mad that I only wanted to talk about new games. So for a moment, we should talk about Nioh.
Oh,
Nioh.
Yes.
love Nioh.
Samurai Souls.
Pretty much, yeah.
Samurai
Onimusha
Souls.
with souls, pretty much. And they're not shy about it, looks like. They like blatantly have like a phantom he summoned in the game. And he's like glowing yellow like the Sun Brothers or the Sunlight Covenant. I was like, okay, that's straight up from it.
Yeah.
But I'm
Yeah.
okay with that. It's like Ninja Gaiden, Souls, and Onimusha mixed.
So let's define this. Let's define why we're okay with that. Is because it adds enough news for it to not feel like a copycat?
I don't even care if it's a copycat because the gameplay is good.
And not
it
a lot
looks
of people,
good.
not a lot of people have copied Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Lords of the Fallen
Yeah.
didn't work
Yeah.
out so hot.
Yeah.
That's a good example. That's one
Yeah.
that tried. I think it did work out so hot.
People didn't seem to like it.
I think it did okay.
It did okay.
Either
It
was
did
fine.
pretty well. Yeah, it did all right.
Well, it's like if you had a fantasy dial and like it's a little turned more towards like dark,
Sure, yeah.
gothic stuff in the worlds of Bloodborne and Dark Souls. So they just like Lords of the Fallen just kind of cranked it more towards fantasy, and that wasn't enough for some people. Where it's like really, going to a whole different ballpark with that era.
I think this is really satisfying that Onimusha itch that Capcom's
Yeah.
not giving anyone. Like Huber's stoked on this game.
Yeah, really.
But oh yeah, he
Just
loves
to be like
Onimusha.
a
yeah.
sick supernatural samurai.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Great. Yeah. And what I really love about it is the way it was introduced. It was Bandai Namco saying like, and this is one of our first original IPs in like 20 years.
That's really cool too.
yes.
Tecmo Koei.
Tecmo
Koei,
Koei, right,
yeah.
right. Bandai Namco makes lots of stuff. Tecmo Koei said our first new IP. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean they've been doing a lot of
Is it
Dynasty
the-
Warriors, Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah, is it
Yeah,
the
Ninja
Ninja
Gaiden
Gaiden team? Is it that team?
I don't think it's that team. Oh, shoot, I guess we gotta look that up. Ian, who's making Nioh?
That may
buddy?
not be that easily.
Yeah. We'll
available.
find out. Yeah, but it looks cool.
Yeah.
It's very cool. Like it's exciting to see someone copy Souls but still look interesting. I guess
Sure, yeah.
that's not an easy.
I'm hoping
thing to
there's
pull
more
off.
than meets the eye with that too.
Wait, what are you hoping for?
Just more, like something more original, like that I wouldn't see in the other game that they did. Something like new from
what?
them. I
Like
don't know.
what?
I don't even know. My brain can't think of that right now.
So you want things that you can't even think about?
I just hope there's more to it than what they've
It
shown.
says
Is what
Team
I'm saying.
Ninja.
Oh yeah, that's the Ninja Gaiden team.
Yeah.
No way, dude.
Yeah, way.
Good on Team
Oh, that's
Ninja.
right. I remember that logo popping up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Very nice. All right. I'm
we
a
got a
little,
game.
Okay, we got a game there. So lastly, I want to talk about games that weren't announced, games that were heavily rumored coming into the week that just never appeared. We'll go really quick through these, and we'll just kind of rate our disappointment and whether we think these are actually even going to be great or even come to fruition. Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, published by Activision, developed by Platinum Games, was rated by the Australian rating board. And a Brazilian rating board as well. Never appeared. Never came to be announced. Do we think this is real? I'm going to say yes.
Yeah, I think it's real.
Those are almost never wrong. But like, where is this game? Why wasn't it shown? If it's rated, it's probably pretty far in, I have to assume. Do we have high hopes for Activision making another like licensed Platinum game? This will be third in a row.
It'll be like probably like Transformers tier, I imagine. Like good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would hope it's Transformers tier, but yeah, I don't know.
It could be Korra tier, is what you're
Yeah.
saying.
They have so many projects.
We'll just have
Platinum,
to.
man.
I mean, we just have
Yeah.
to see. It's weird to try to say anything about it.
It is. It's so weird. It's just I'm baffled that it wasn't announced. To me, it's just like, when are you going to announce that? If not,
Whenever they want.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, then you got to think, what do you trade that for? Like MLB The Show, I guess. Like
Yeah.
what, when you really like look at all the stuff that they talked about, they're just like, well, do we, would that play really well with all of this other stuff? Would it mix?
I can take Paragon right out.
I was
Put
saying,
Ninja
I'd rather
Turtles
see
right
the
in.
turtles at the end.
Yeah, I think I have a question.
Sure.
This is just from my standpoint, of course, but do we? Because there's always like the sports section of a presentation. Do we need that? Because I feel like the people who buy MLB The Show, like largely you already have them.
Here's why I would defend it. I think that MLB The Show is actually a graphical showcase. I think that game always looks insanely good. Also, their trailers are good, man. They're not like just butt rock or something like that. They always like have really good song choices. I actually really like the MLB The Show trailers.
I thought it looked kind of awkward graphically.
And actually, they have a cool new feature actually, where it's like there's slow down time, which I don't think they've done before. I don't
What
really
time?
know.
We have the quick time event to catch the ball too.
Yeah, like the ball's coming and you like slow down time. It's
Whoa,
like
weird.
showtime, and then like once you're in showtime, you can like hit the ball.
I think
a
if
little
it's
better.
like a dive,
At least
if
you're
it's
trying
a
something
tough
new.
catch,
That's cool, I guess.
Yeah.
Who knows what'll pan out?
Showtime. Onimusha, we just talked about. Capcom trademarked Onimusha in Japan the week before PSX, so I think it was reasonable to assume, oh yeah, they're going to announce the new Onimusha.
I don't know. It's also getting towards the end of the year. Things expire.
Yeah, which is probably the case. Resident Evil 6 Remastered also rated in Korea by their ratings board for Xbox One and PS4.
Weird.
Yeah. Resident Evil 6 Remastered, I believe in. I think it'll be, I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be there next year with all the other Resident Evil stuff for the anniversary.
There's a lot of Resident Evil stuff happening. What do we have? We have Umbrella Chronicles, we have Resident Evil 0, we have 2 HD.
Umbrella
Umbrella
Core.
Core, yeah.
Umbrella
Core.
Core.
I got excited for a second.
Yeah, sorry there. Umbrella Chronicles is the first person one?
There's
The
two
light
of them.
gun.
It's a light gun one,
On
yeah.
rails. or
Yeah,
whatever.
that is cool.
Both of them are really good.
And then potentially Resident Evil 6 Remastered. That's actually maybe 2 stacked of a year for Resident Evil. But
Would they make 6 again? Didn't everyone hate that game?
But you have
Not
to
everyone.
understand, it's just this jump from HD to HD
Right,
is
yeah,
nothing.
yeah,
You know, it's
yeah.
like it's a real easy cash grab.
yeah, Blood, I think you're right. It's just a really easy cash grab. Why not? Here's the thing with all that, though. Is it reasonable to think Resident Evil 7 is not coming next year because of those
Yes.
4 things?
I wouldn't be surprised if they make you buy that remaster by putting a 7 demo in it.
Nice, Blood.
Well, they might announce it next year, but then we're not getting it.
Yeah, I don't think you'll
next
get
year.
it.
That's a strong
Well,
prediction.
you might. Didn't they announce Resident
They
Evil
did
6 the
6
same
really
year?
fast, yeah.
Yeah, it was like 4 or 5 months before.
Well, then that's not a good sign.
It was E3 to fall. Yeah, it was cool. Sony Bend has not announced anything, and so has the God of War team did not announce anything at PSX.
Yeah.
I think I expected them to.
Shocking.
I guess E3 is what we say.
I guess, yeah.
And then didn't Huber think there was a God of War statue? He kept talking about
There
it. but
is
then
one.
There wasn't
No,
one?
there is one.
Where was it?
It was like on the first floor.
Oh, yeah. Okay, never mind.
So they
We found it eventually.
They brought it in for fans.
Yeah,
and
you
like,
filmed
yeah.
it.
Huber
Yeah,
thought
yeah, I remember now.
Huber thought he found a secret or something.
Yeah, it's just like right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Layden came out in the Crash Bandicoot shirt. It's like,
Oh, how dare you?
I love that
Oh,
move.
man.
That
Such
is
a
a
troll.
baller move.
well, I also wonder, like, some of these, picking up some of this copyright stuff. I wonder if that's like a red herring potentially. Not always, but like, I wonder if
Well, no,
anyone's
like, a
ever
lot
done
of-
that. Like,
Didn't a lot of the Crash stuff just disappear from Activision? Like they closed down the web pages and things like that.
Ooh, what is this?
Scoops.
Yeah, I mean it was a while back, but
Nice.
yeah, I remember like it became hard to find like any kind of trace of Crash Bandicoot stuff.
E3, baby. The crunch.
If you were simply a listener, you're missing out on one of my favorite Brad mannerisms, which is the rapid eyebrow raise and lowering.
them.
This is so weird, Brad. It's so weird.
Do it again. Do it again.
Yes.
Crash Bandicoot at E3, count on it. Sean Layden is a pro. He's planting seeds right there. I freaking love it. Well, you are the one who started this conversation. Is next. This is one that we got a lot of people wanting us to talk about, so let's get into it. Let's dig into this. This is from Daniel Warren. Maybe this wouldn't be a good question for the panel, but I'd love to get your thoughts about the new episodic news of Final Fantasy VII Remake, since you all just finished your playthrough. Your perspective on things that will get cut in the episodic format, like world map, like a flyable airship, like chocobo breeding, like exploration, etc., would make for a great editorial report. Would love to watch you all break down what's good and bad about this disappointing news.
Do we know that all those things are being cut?
No.
No.
We only know that,
We know nothing.
They're going to do
Yeah.
it in parts.
Basically, they've said it's episodic, so nothing will be cut.
Right, because the game is literally too big to fit on a disc.
Well, not
on a Blu-ray.
It's not. No, I don't think it's because of what will fit on a disc. I think it's like budget and time.
That's
Yeah.
what I think is,
Yeah.
If there was, they'd put it on 2 Blu-ray discs.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah,
I'm not buying that thing with memory.
Yeah.
Right. So I basically, is this disappointing news? So I guess we should say to everybody that was a news story this week. We learned that Final Fantasy VII Remake is not a single game. It will be chunked into multiple games. Square Enix's defense for this is that they simply couldn't make it. They couldn't do everything into one game. Brandon, is this disappointing news?
No, this is less than amazingly incredible news. It's like the dream vision of this game is this, and it's like one notch down.
It's close to spectacular.
Yeah, so it's just like, oh well, it's not absolutely dream like amazing. It's honestly, it's like if all the Final Fantasy VII fans were like given like a trip to some resort somewhere, and they're like rolling out in their robes, and it's like sunset, and they go in, and it's just like, oh, here's your pina colada. It's like, I ordered a Mai Tai, and like they just forget it. They're out. They're done. It's
Or
like
it's like here's a free Mai Tai that you did not order, except we only have these smaller cups, so we're giving it to you in 2 cups, but we're gonna give it to you a couple minutes apart so that the ice doesn't melt.
So is it unfortunate? Yes. Would it be better to get the whole game? Yes. Is it amazing this is happening? Yes. Like I'm still stunned with disbelief, like looking at that game, that like this is actually happening. Like this thing, this fan service, this thing people have been clamoring for forever. Like they're figuring out a way to make it happen.
So let's talk about the announcement itself then, because I do feel like maybe they shoved the Mai Tai into our face and then took it back and put the 2 cups in front of us, because they didn't announce this until their panel after we had seen 2 huge trailers. And they said themselves that they were planning to make this into chunks from the beginning. Should they have made that clearer sooner, Brandon?
Yeah, I thought about that actually this morning on the way to work. Like, what if, like, when it said, like, remake, when that hit, like, when you were up on your chair, like, freaking out,
Yeah.
if it went to a screen, like, an episodic adventure
I would hit
starting
the
in
floor.
2016.
I would hit the floor. It would be gone immediately.
Everyone would have been so pissed right then.
Yeah.
Right. So,
You got to ease people into that kind of thing.
So it's like starting a relationship.
But
yeah,
sure.
So I think it's okay to show up at the panel and release that information later, but when you do that, put it all out. Like I think even then people still had questions. They were like, well, wait, hold on. Like you just kind of threw that into the conversation. What does that mean? You're like, be really upfront about it. Even upfront about the fact that like sue us. We didn't want to tell you guys right away. Like we wanted you to be excited. Like we still are bringing something, and that's something you should always keep in mind when you see a trailer. Like you don't really know what they're doing. Kojima's proved that. Like trailers don't have to be 100% accurate, 100% truthful. It's all about building hype. But yeah, I just think when 7 first got announced, I was like, no way. I don't believe that. That is crazy that's actually happening. And then they announced it was episodic and was like, there it is.
Yeah.
Now it's a thing. Now it actually makes sense in my brain. Now I understand how they're doing it. Damn you lucky 7 fans that you're getting this. Like I can't like
Wait, why are you damning us?
because I want a 6 remake. Because like I never got no 6 Advent Children. I never got 6 Crisis Core. I never got 6.
We did get weird CG
the
models.
Vincent Valentine third-person
Remember?
shooter. It's like, oh my God, there's just been so much just icing on 7 for years and years and years and years and years.
You got a
and then they get
hideous phone port.
this giant cherry like remake on top of it, and like that's not enough. They're literally like,
It is
what?
worth-
I get to play it next year? Flip the table.
It is worth bringing up that just this week, the weird phone version of 6 was put onto Steam. Did you see this?
Yeah, I did.
Oh my gosh.
Which again, it was the same bait and switch maneuver. Like I saw, I follow Square and I saw the announcement like 6 coming to Steam, and I was like, totally fell for it. Like, oh sweet, click the video and like, oh, it's the iOS.
It looks
port.
so
Like,
bad.
Yeah,
it's like shows no self. I don't know how they could have put that out the door.
Did you see the little meme photo that went around?
No, what's that?
It was do you remember that like like portrait of Jesus or whatever that was like restored by like some complete amateur.
Yes.
That's what they were compared it to.
Yeah, you're right. If you haven't seen,
Original GBA and then iOS Steam.
if you haven't seen it, that's really explains what we're looking at. Okay, so
But I mean, to just kind of go off of that, like, if you're going to say, hey, it's gonna be multi-parts, and we've been planning this all along, you just put out there what the parts are. We all know what the game is. Like, make it clear.
Oh, sure. Or at least what part 1 is. Like,
Yeah, but I mean, like,
Name it or
how
something,
many
or-
parts? Like, I mean, like, really.
I don't think they know yet.
I'm
But
pretty
if
sure that's
if
the
they're
case.
saying it's planned out, then it's what? I mean, come on.
Well,
So-
you're gonna believe if they say it's planned out? Of course, it's not planned all the way out.
Yeah.
Nomura City hasn't even designed the cross-dressing thing yet, and it's gonna be in the game.
Yeah.
The most important part of the game.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can have a blueprint. I'm just saying it's weird. But I think the other thing too is, some people have been debating about like where the word episodic is right now, because I think that does have this stigma, because when we think episodic, we do think of the Telltale game or whatever. And
we also think of Half-Life episodes.
right. You're talking about
Episodes have
stuff.
burned us from the start. I feel
Yeah.
There are things that are like 2 to 3 hours long, and that's what was surprising going back to King's Quest was like, oh no, this is actually like a really long thing. This is like not what you expect when you see an episodic. Mm-hmm. So I think that's it too. That it's like, oh, each episode is 20 hours, then that makes a big difference.
Yeah, I think they will be long. They've said they'll be full games.
A few things I want to bring up about it. I'm curious about things I'm kind of nervous about. Is
All right, give us what you're
the
nervous about.
pricing will be for per episode.
Okay, what would you pay for a 20-hour episode?
I would pay full price because I'm a fool
What would
and
you
I'm a
pay for
diehard fan.
What would you pay for a 10-hour episode?
Full price, whatever you're asking, I'm paying.
Yeah,
But I don't recommend that.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
endorse that whatsoever.
Right.
But that's just me.
Yeah.
But I could totally understand, like, if that game ends up being like $60 per thing, I could see how people be very upset, and that could like damn them in some ways. If it's $20, I think you're okay. Like if it comes out all the way, like everything's out, and it's $60, I think you'll be okay.
Nobody should get your hopes up for that.
Do not get your hopes up for that. I'm telling you, do not.
It won't
I mean, once they're all out, like 10 years from now,
That'll be
$20
$100
years from now.
That'll be a $100 package.
I'm expecting it to be
Square
expensive.
how much is the Steam Final Fantasy VI? I mean, the idea that
Their stuff's
Yeah.
way,
Yeah,
like on the
I
phone
mean-
it's $15.
Yeah.
I mean,
This announcement
$20
brought
not happening.
about what I would call hilarious outrage, because people were so pissed. I don't know.
What makes it hilarious?
Because I don't know, I can't even wrap my mind around why it's such a why people were getting that angry about it. Like I couldn't understand it.
I can't.
I can see
Any
it.
kind of 7 is better than no 7.
That's not necessarily true.
Re-release.
I think what happened is, they had this expectation of this huge thing that they would get, and then they're obviously getting less than that. They're gonna have to spend more money than they thought they were gonna have to spend.
Or they're just, instead of waiting 15 years, they're waiting 2,
No, I understand
and then
that.
another one, and then another one.
Oh yeah.
What I'm curious about is
How long between episodes?
each episode will be.
My prediction
And
is 1 year.
1 year.
Yeah, I think each episode will be 20 to 30 hours, and you'll wait a year in between each one, and there'll be 3 probably.
And so quickly to wrap up the question too, Daniel, like your concerns about the world map and the flyable airship and the chocobo breeding exploration. I think those will all be there. I can.
Yeah.
I
I could see them
they're
put-
not taking that stuff out.
I could see them putting the world map in. You just can't go there. You can fly over the city.
But I mean,
you
that's how the
can't,
game
like-
works.
I think there'll be
yeah,
some.
you unlock it like
I
GTA.
think there will be a world map how there is like in 15. Like I don't know how. Like how there is like when we played the demo, there's like a huge open space you can walk around in. I don't know if it'll
Okay.
be divided up into sections or whatnot.
They're not going to model a whole open world.
Yeah.
No.
Why? Well, it's not going to be maybe not as you think an open world traditional.
Yeah,
style.
I
This
think-
game is going to
I-
be very
It'll
big
be
in
a
scope.
3D pretty version of the map the way it used to.
Well,
be.
how they're talking about with Midgar and how like there's going to be so many more sections you can go that you couldn't go into the game. I think
Yeah.
it's going to be a lot better than you think it's going to be.
Yeah,
It's
I
gonna
think
be a
they're going
big
to
old
add a
game.
bunch of This is going to be sweet.
Yeah.
It's I think to me, looking at the footage, it's very clear that this is all being repurposing 15 anyways. The engine and even a lot of the
It's
It's
Unreal
not, though.
4.
It's using Unreal Engine. So if anything, it's
Oh, it's
overlapping
not.
with
Yeah,
Kingdom
if
Hearts.
anything, that'll help faster to get it out.
but they're using similar gameplay systems.
It looks
maybe.
like it. I think they said
Yeah.
it's going to be much more tactical than It looks.
We never talked about CyberConnect, who is actually developing the game.
I think there's multiple people working on it, multiple studios. They are one of them, I think.
Sick.
Like I can see
I
them,
love it.
doing animations on the characters or some crazy stuff like that.
That's like Nintendo when they're making Smash Bros. They're like, we're taking in Bandai Namco. We need to make this game.
Square Enix needs help in a lot of ways. So
and
they're asking for it now.
You will make money. You will make money from what you invest in this game. I'm confident on that. Don't be worried, Daniel Warren. But thank you for starting that conversation, and thank you to all the other people who also wanted to start that conversation. It is now time for bets. I like that.
This bet, man.
Ian, can you let us into the vault? Thank you. Devil's Third comes out on Friday, December 11th. It's rated M for blood and gore, intense violence, suggestive themes, and strong language. How much time will there be from the beginning of the game to the first swear word? No research allowed. Don't look it up on YouTube.
We're in a tie at the end of the year, last bet of the year, and he's like, hey, you can look this up, but don't.
Honor system.
Honor system.
Have some honor.
Brandon, do you have honor?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
For honor.
Yeah. Let me check. Yeah.
I'll be streaming this on Friday. This is when I guess this will be the official time that we get the
Should see
result.
if Nintendo will actually send it to us.
I'm planning
Kyle's
on
gonna
buying
spend
it
his own
tonight.
money.
Yeah. I'm afraid I'm gonna have to buy this. Whatever. It'll be fun.
So be it.
Yep, so be it. Okay, so I'll go first on this. I bet, and so we decided it's not just from hitting start on the start menu. It's not just from like selecting your difficulty. It's from when the game fades up, probably first cutscene. Mm-hmm. How long from then till we hear a swear word? There might be gameplay, right, between, but I guess we'll just count it how I play the game.
Roll the dice.
Okay, I'll be playing on normal, if that helps.
Okay.
Okay. If anyone wants to change their bet knowing I'm playing on normal, you may now. Okay.
No backing out. Let's
no
go.
backing out. I think it'll be 27 seconds till our first swear word.
Okay.
Brad.
30 seconds.
Oh, okay.
4 seconds.
Whoa, Blood
Wow.
Warrior. Coming out hot.
9 minutes.
9 minutes.
Whoa.
Yeah. I think there's a potential for it to be a very action heavy opening, and so.
Then there's going to be F-bombs all over the place.
The game is going to start with the main character going, fuck.
The fuck is this shit? Yeah.
And then Bloodworth wins. Absolutely. Let me lock those in. Okay. Let's talk about last week's bet. Xenoblade Chronicles X came out on Friday, I think? Yes. Or Thursday. No, it came out on Thursday, on the eShop. Anyway, at this point, how many customer reviews will it have on Amazon.com? It has... No. How do I do this? I don't care.
Oh, boy.
It has 46. So that means that... Sorry, there's no drama this week. Bloodworth wins with his bet of 60. Really close with Jones. It was 41 last night, and then 5 more people reviewed it today. Like you were so close to that it was really, really split there. Anyway, Blood. Let's go to the current scores now. You now have 16, where the Super Seed has 15. You have taken the lead. We have one more bet until the end of the year, and it is this bet actually. This is the last one.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
losing that
Let's
one.
go, Devil's Third.
Fucking losing that one.
Oh, yeah. Do we need to discuss what counts as a swear word?
it'll be up to Judge Ian.
Okay. Because I'm trying to debate. I'm not going to sit here and debate, Jerry. But I was sitting here and I'm thinking, like, is it one of those things where if they can say it on network TV, it doesn't count?
Well, I mean, it's basically
They say a lot of stuff on network TV now.
what
Yeah.
the ESRB would count as, language. So what do we think about damn?
I think that,
Yes.
I think that damn and ass don't count.
Yes,
Whoa.
I think those both count.
Well, it's up to Judge
Judge Ian.
Why
Well, I don't know though, because Minecraft Story Mode said damn.
Really?
And I was like, whoa, this is a kid's game.
I think we have to allow
So
damn.
then that
then.
counts.
Okay.
Yeah.
As a swear?
No, as not a swear. We
Yeah.
have to,
No, I mean,
we have to let the clock run through damn.
No, if you had that reaction, then it counts.
Well, it doesn't because it's still rated E
I mean,
for everyone.
I see his point. No, right. Like, that's the thing. Swear words, I don't think have a big impact on rating anymore, but they're still swear words.
Well-
Because I reacted, I was like, whoa.
No, they have an impact. They're in the ratings. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know.
Ratings are mutable. There are boobs in Airplane, and that movie's PG.
Well, whatever. Let's move on. You'll know at the
I'll
time.
figure it out
Yeah,
next.
you'll be all right.
Oh, I'm gonna be gone, by the way.
Oh, so it'll be Judge Don. We'll let Judge Don
Judge
deal with
Don.
this. No one will question Judge
The
Don.
Dawn.
Anyway, Jones 8, Bossman 11. Bloodworth, what you've won is the right and responsibility to tell everyone what your Twitter name is. You get to promote any video you'd like.
He already did promote a video.
Yep, you don't get to do that.
Yeah,
You've,
right.
You've surrendered, you've surrendered that right. Everybody watch the VR video next week. You do get the final word on anything
final word.
that you disagree with that was said out throughout this show. And of course, you get to sign off with your trademark sign off.
Well, my Twitter is dbloodworth2. I don't know anything on my final word.
You agreed with us this entire show?
I don't know if I agree with you, but I gotta start taking more mental notes on these things.
He
Well, no.
disagreed that he
My
was late
final word is that
this
it's
morning.
not. It's not. Yeah. Just because I didn't get a chance to play Ni no Kuni doesn't mean that it's like not important to me somehow. I've got 100 games on my back burner. Watch John and Huber's VR video, and we'll see you before the next Blood Moon Rises.
I love.